90% of the brain is unconscious, right? We do things without even realizing it all the time. So it's like when clients first come to me, sometimes, right, I'm like, oh, how's your nutrition? They're like, your nutrition's been good. Then we get into discussion, and um and the results aren't really reflecting it. And sometimes you find out that, oh, like, oh, what did you eat last night? And they're like, oh, all I had was a bag of crisps. And it was almost that what they did was so unconscious. So being actually like aware of what you're doing is really important, or just making little habits to help to be more conscious of the unconscious mind, right? Like a thing that I did for a little while was that I would always concentrate on, I would always tie my shoes on my right side, right? So for a month, I did it on my left side, and I made a conscious effort so I can be more conscious of my unconscious. If that kind of makes sense. And as as we talked about in the past, our brain filters everything, right? It filters everything, and that's why so much things go unconsciously. So we take on our five senses, take on the information. So how we feel, our feeling, our kinesthetic, um, then our smell, our taste, our visual, and also our hearing, our auditory. And our brain takes this in, and it filters it, and then we have an internal representation of the situation. But we actually have control over it, right? We actually have control of these filters, and we can actually change it. Now, when we have an um, internal representation of the situation, it affects our state, affects our physiology, and also our behavior. And then ultimately we're going to action it. But just being aware of this and the little changes you can make, like looking at what our beliefs are and what we are valuing, right? So like with me, what I had to do is obviously I had to, and it's really interesting. Like I'm going to use business for an example, but if I was using for since this COVID thing was happening, I was using limited language around business, and it would come out in when I was talking to clients on the phone, just like how we spoke on the first time. It was coming out. It was coming out, and I was showing scarcity because I was scared of the current situation, which was going on. And it was only when I was talking to other fitness professionals and talking to, I've got a mentor who I was talking about this with, and it's only when I got over that hurdle, then my momentum started happening again. But it all started from changing what I was valuing um, and my beliefs. So if you set like if your belief, just trying to get Ali in, if your belief is it's COVID, um, it's COVID, and I just feel like eating snacks or whatever it may be, that would be your reality, right? But or you can actually change the story and change it and say, actually, it's COVID-19, coronavirus. I'm gonna take care of my health better than ever because I don't want to get this virus, and I want to make my immune system better than ever. So it's choosing what stories that we pick, and then the limiting language. I still use the limiting language on my weight loss journey all the time. I used to say I was fat. The reason why I'm fat is because of my mom. I'm just big boned. I, got my mom's genetics, and my siblings got my dad's lean Arab genetics. I used to hold on to it as an excuse, but it was only when I took ownership and changed my limiting language and said, and I was able to switch it, like, okay, right, at the moment I've got more weight than I would like, but I'm doing everything on my power. I'm exercising every day, and eventually this will go. So just changing it, right? Instead of saying I am fat, you change it to like I am getting fit, or really having that identity of there's a lot of mums on our program, so you can say a fit mum, a super mum, or whatever it may be. So really working on those I am statements and actually thinking, what beliefs did I use in the past? Like what beliefs were I using in my past, and does those beliefs serve me anymore? Right? Does those beliefs serve me anymore? And seeing which beliefs does, right? So, and yeah, as I talked about, using those reframes and changing it.